Today we're going to start a brand new series. This is going to be the Trump Cabinet Spinner Battle. And we've got 10 candidates that are going to go at it. It was really tough to figure out which candidates to include and which to not. So I had to draw the line at which ones I thought were the most high profile or their offices were the most significant. So some of your favorites might not be included, like Lee Zeldin, Lordy Chavez the Reamer, Scott Turner, Sean Duffy, etc. But you gotta draw the line somewhere. After this series wraps up, then we can do an early 2028 Democratic presidential primary. Of course, that does depend on if the channel is still up and running. So first, let's introduce these 10 candidates. Now, given it's a Trump cabinet, you might not be a big fan of any of them. These are in alphabetical order, and number 1 is Secretary of the Treasury, Scott Bessent. Number 2, Attorney General Pam Bondi. Number 3, Secretary of the Interior Doug Burgum. Number 4, Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard. Number 5, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth. Number 6 is Secretary of Health and Human Services Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Number 7, Secretary of Education Linda McMahon. Number 8, Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem. Number 9, Secretary of Agriculture Brooke Rollins. And number 10 is Secretary of State Marco Rubio. So you could do it so many different ways, but that's the 10 we're going to use. And the way we do it is the same as the other battles. If you're new here, it's going to be the Google spinner. Whatever number it lands on, they're going to get the electoral votes. At the end, whoever has the least is going to be eliminated. The order I do the states is highly up for debate, but for consistency, I'm going to do the same thing I've done in every other series. It's all random. We're just trying to have a little bit of fun here as it is. If there's a tie at the end, we'll go to a spin-off. The last one standing after every round is going to be crowned the winner. So as always, sit back and relax, get comfortable, grab something to eat, get some Skittles, whatever is going to put you in the mood to see a ton of these colors. We're going to get started in that first state. That is Alaska. They're holding 3 electoral votes. Here comes the first spin of this series. Kind of a slow one, but it's number 4. That is Tulsi Gabbard, the first one in on this series. The next state is Gabbard's home state. That is Hawaii. And spin number 2 is coming to DB Doug Burgum. Next, we do Washington State. There's a medium amount of votes here, a dozen. For number 8, Kristi Noem. How about Oregon? That's next. That's number 10. Marco Rubio. Next, California. I think that's technically RFK Jr.'s home state. Not a big deal, but there are a ton of votes here, and it's kind of a free pass to the next round. Let's do it. That's number 7. Looks like Linda McMahon is going to have an easy path to the next round. Next, it's Nevada. The Silver State has 6 votes. And they're coming to number 10. That's Marco Rubio, the first one with 2 states. How about Idaho? And the Gem State is coming to number 6. That is going to be RFK Jr. Next, we go south into Utah. And this state is holding 6 more. And it's number 6, Kennedy, back to back. How about Arizona? 11 votes on the table. And how about that? RFK Jr. with 10 candidates. He goes 3 consecutive. Let's see if he can do 4. The next state is Montana. Along the northern border, these 4 votes are actually coming to Kennedy. Look at that, 4 in a row. He's unstoppable. Can he get 5? The next state is Wyoming. Another 3 votes. Here's the spin. It could be, and it is. Stunning. RFK Jr. has gone 5 in a row in a 10-candidate field. If somebody can crunch those numbers, let me know the odds below. Why stop here? He's going for 6. That's his number. Next is Colorado. Here comes the spin. It's not going to be a 6. It's number 10 that's coming back to Marco Rubio. How about New Mexico? Good old land of enchantment, number 7. Linda McMahon with another state. How about North Dakota? This would be Doug Burgum's home state. Nice big spin there. Coming to number 8. Kristi Noem. Next up is her home state, South Dakota. Former governor here. Number 2. That is PB Pam Bondi with her first state. How about Nebraska at large? Couple of votes for number 10. That's Marco Rubio. Here's Nebraska's first congressional district. A solitary electoral vote coming to number 5. Pete Hegseth makes his first appearance here in round 1. Next up, it's Nebraska's second. And looks like Hegseth is going to start off with 2 in a row. Here's Nebraska's third. This is going to close out the Cornhusker State. Coming to number 8. That is Kristi Noem. The next state is Kansas. They've got 6 votes. And these 6 are coming to number 1. Scott Bessent. He makes his debut here in this series. That leaves Brooke Rollins, number 9, the only one with 0. Let's keep going. Next is Oklahoma. This would be lucky 7. Number 4, Tulsi Gabbard. That takes her up to 10. The next state is Texas. I think this is Brooke Rollins' home state. It's the second most populous state with a massive 40 votes. Let's find out who's going to tap into those. It's going to be number 5, Pete Hegseth with a gigantic boost. Next, Minnesota. Here comes another 10 votes. Number 2, Pam Bondi. Next, Iowa. 6 of them. Bondi doing it again. Next, it's Missouri, the Show Me State. 10 votes. Doug Burgum picking these up. How about Arkansas? Half dozen. Number 9, there it is, Brooke Rollins. She's the last one in, but she starts off with 6, and she's tied with Scott Bessent for the bottom. Let's do Louisiana next. Down in the Gulf, 8 votes. Coming to number 2, Pam Bondi. How about Wisconsin? These 10 votes in the Badger State are coming to Pete Hegseth, number 5. We're going to go south. We're going to dip into Illinois. We're going to give out 19 more votes. The spinner says number 2, Pam Bondi. She's heating up big time. We're going to keep going deeper into the Rust Belt. Michigan is next. 15 votes for number 7, Linda McMahon. She's got him. Next, Indiana. Who's going to get him? Number 1, Scott Bessent. That means Brooke Rollins is on the bottom. On deck is Kentucky. Here comes the spin. 8 votes. And claiming those is number 6. It's coming to Kennedy. Next, Tennessee. Let's spin it. Who's going to win it? Number 1. It's coming to Bessent. How about Mississippi in the Deep South? Another 6. For number 7, that is coming to Linda McMahon. Next, it's Alabama, 9 votes. And 9 for number 5. That is PH Pete Hegseth. Next, we're going to dip into the sunshine. Florida, 30 votes. Home state of Bondi and Rubio. Pretty big spin here. Let's do it. The spinner is looking at number 9, Brooke Rollins with a huge state. That leaves Tulsi Gabbard on the bottom. We're going to keep going. Next up is Georgia, 16 of them. The Peach State is going to be snagged by Brooke Rollins, number 9. The next state is Scott Bessent's home state of South Carolina. Here comes the spin. Looks like a 4. That is coming to Tulsi Gabbard. And now on the bottom is Doug Burgum, number 3. Next, we're going to head up to North Carolina. We're going to give out these 16 EVs. We're giving them to number 8. It's Kristi Noem. How about Ohio? That is the next state. They have 17 votes. And that's another 5 for Pete Hegseth. He's actually right behind McMahon for the top spot. Let's keep going. Next is the Mountain State, West Virginia. 4 electoral votes. Number 2, Pam Bondi. Now we jump up to the northeast corner. We do Maine at large. There's a couple of votes here. For number 5, Pete Hegseth, he's tied for first with Linda McMahon at 80. Next, it's Maine's 1st congressional district. Number 6 is coming to Kennedy. That means we've got Maine's 2nd up next. One more vote for number 7, Linda McMahon. She's back in first, but it's all about who's on the bottom, and that is still Doug Burgum. Let's go next door. New Hampshire has 4 EVs. Who's going to get them? Pete Hegseth, number 5, he's going to leapfrog Linda McMahon for first place. Next up, we've got Vermont, 3 electoral votes. This is going to be number 8, Kristi Noem. How about New York? Look at this, 28 votes. Massive cash at stake. Who's going to collect them? Let's find out. Here comes the spin. Number 10, that is coming to Marco Rubio. He more than doubles his total. So Burgum now with a little bit of pressure, he trails Tulsi by 5. Let's do the Bay State next. This is Massachusetts. It's number 2. It's Pam Bondi. How about Connecticut? This is Linda McMahon's home state. There's another lucky 7 here. And it's Pam Bondi who's going to swipe them. How about Rhode Island? 4 votes here. It's not a ton, but Burgum would take them. They're coming, though, to Linda McMahon. She's now ahead of Hegseth again by 1. How about New Jersey? 14 votes. Here's the spin. We've got number 10. They're coming to Marco. How about Delaware? The first state. They've got 3 of them. Right on the line for number 3, but that is coming to Doug Burgum. He trails Tulsi by 2. The next state is Maryland. 10 electoral votes. Here's the spin. That's number 8. That's coming to Kristi Noem. The next spin is for Washington, D.C. Burgum looking for that 3. Tulsi hoping to see a 4. Here comes the spin. That is right on the line again, but it's coming to Pete Hegseth. Number 5. And just like that, he's again ahead of Linda McMahon. The penultimate spin is for Pennsylvania, 19 votes. Burgum needs a 3. Tulsi hoping for anything other than a 3. Let's do the spin. That is coming to Tulsi Gabbard, number 4. And now we've reached the final state. That is Virginia. If it's not a 3, Doug Burgum is the first one out of this series. If it is a 3, then it looks like he's going to be ahead of Scott Bessent, and he'll be the first one out. One of these 2 is going to be the first one out of this series. Let's do the final spin of round 1. Here it is. It is number 10, Marco Rubio. And that concludes round number 1. The winner is actually Pete Hegseth with 87. He's just barely ahead of Linda McMahon with 85. Marco Rubio also in the 80s at 81 in 3rd place. At the bottom of the first round, it's number 3. That is Doug Burgum. He got 17 votes out of Hawaii, Missouri, and Delaware. But unfortunately for him, that's just not enough, and he's going to be the first loser in this series. So that's it. We're going to wipe the slate clean. Everybody ahead of Burgum is going to move down 1 number, and we're going to do it all over again. I would have thought that Linda McMahon would have won this thing with California. So you got to tip your hat there to Pete Hegseth. But what about RFK Jr. putting up 5 states in a row? Lots of action here on this colorful, crazy looking map. So let me know in the comments. Is your pick to go all the way still in it? Or did you unfortunately have Doug Burgum winning this battle? Let me know how excited you're going to be for the rest of this series down below on your way out. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Join if you'd like to help support the channel. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.